Sonic R is quite an interesting game, and by that I mean it's absolute crap. But why is that? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. This is my review of Sonic R. Sonic R is a 3D racing game developed for the failed Sega Saturn. If you thought consoles having no games is bad nowadays, you would have loved the 90s, where there were actually quite a few consoles with nothing to play on them, with the Sega Saturn being one of them. Anyway, Sonic R was originally going to be a Formula 1 racing game, but due to the cancellation of Sonic X-treme, Sega requested Telltale's Games to change the Formula 1 game to a Sonic game. I assume just to get something Sonic related on the Saturn by Christmas time. Thus Sonic R was born, and yeah, you can certainly tell this game didn't have the best development because it is rough. To get the main problem out of the way, the game just controls like ass. I can't even be descriptive about it, the game just controls horribly. You move like an absolute unit in this game. Now, to be fair, it isn't particularly much of a problem if you're just going to blast through the game anyway, as you'll be here for about 20ish minutes, if that, and then be on your merry way. But if you decide to 100% this game, then yeah, you are in for a miserable time. Fully completing this game is truly where the bad controls start to rear its ugly head in, with you having to be dead precise on getting some of these things. There's two main collectibles here: Chaos Emeralds and Character Medals. Character Medals are hidden throughout the stage, and collecting all 5 will unlock a character, those being Metal Sonic, Mecha Knuckles, Egg Robo, and the Tails doll. Oh come on, it wouldn't be a Sonic R review without a Tails doll jump scare, now would it? Now the medals aren't necessarily hard to find, as you don't actually need to come first to unlock the hidden race, but it's just the act of getting them that's a pain, because as I said earlier, this game controls like a tank, so even if you just slightly overshoot one of these medals, you gotta turn all the way round, and by the time you get the medal, you've been knocked down to like last place or something. I guess you could just loop back round if it's not the last lap though. The medals just aren't worth getting because everyone you unlock plays like ass anyway. There's no real reason to play as anyone other than Sonic. He controls the best, is the fastest, and has an extremely useful double jump. Not all the characters are useless, but if someone picks Sonic, unless they themselves suck, it's pretty much one-sided. Something odd I noticed as well was that Mecha Knuckles and the Egg Robo seem to have been mixed up in terms of their order of being unlocked. Mecha Knuckles is unlocked in, I think it's called Reactive Factory, and the Egg Robo is unlocked in Regal Ruins. When given the stage themes, shouldn't it really be the opposite? Anyway, now on to the Emeralds. They're a slightly different story. The Emeralds are locked behind these 50 ring gates. Now getting the rings isn't much of a problem, as long as you dodge these dash pads that take them all, you should be fine. But it's the fact you do indeed have to come first with the emeralds for them to count, which can be a pain in the arse. Now for the first 2 tracks, everything isn't so bad, as you actually don't really need to go out of your way for most of the collectibles, but Christ, the second half of the game they're an absolute chore to get because they're so out of the way, so it's hard to get back into first when you're trying to find them. Especially in the case of Regal Factory, where you have to open the gate, wait for the emeralds to shoot out, then you have the choice to either grab them right before they bounce, which, I mean, of course they'll bounce, why not, or you gotta wait until they land. Either way, it's super finicky because, as I keep saying, if you overshoot them, you either gotta turn all the way around or loop back around. After getting all the emeralds, you do unlock Super Sonic, which is cool and all, but let's be honest, by this point in the game, you just want to play as him once on Radiant Emeralds and never touch the game again, until you get the weird urge to play again in a few years' time like I do. I don't know what it is about this game, but it has such a weird aura to me. Maybe it's the music mixed with the visuals. The music is honestly the main saving grace of this game. It's not exactly the type of music suited for racing, but more so the type of music you'd listen to on a melodramatic night drive through New York. And the visuals are nice too. The backgrounds are pretty detailed, and the tracks and models look very 90s indeed. Although Regal Ruins sucks because everything just kind of blends in together, and honestly gave me a bit of a headache looking for everything. There's a few other modes too, such as time trials and battle mode, but I didn't bother with them, and to be honest, I don't think anyone watching this video has bothered with them either. Overall, Sonic R is certainly an odd game, in which I wish the core concept got revived one day, as it's not just a kart racer, it actually has a unique selling point: racing on foot. Doesn't sound unique, I know, but it sets it apart from other games in the genre. But yeah, the game's pretty bad. It has some redeeming aspects, but overall it's just a poorly controlled mess that's okay to run through once, I guess, but then you should probably run away from the game as fast as you can. But what do you think of Sonic R? Do you like it or do you hate it? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you later.